Hey guys, it's Kyle from Razor's Edge Performance, and I'm here to bring you another plyometric video. This is video number 4, and it'll be on reactive jumps. So we've already had 3 videos now in the series. The first one was landing mechanics and eccentric loading. The second was forceful muscular contraction, and then the third was counter movement jumps. So if you haven't checked those out yet, I highly encourage you to go check out those 3 videos on our YouTube channel and check out the first jump article on Razor's Edge Performance, and that'll just help set the stage for what we're going to talk about today. I also want to just say thank you to everyone who did already read the article or watch the videos. You know, your support is highly appreciated. So without further ado, let's just play the video through at regular speed and show you what we're talking about when we talk about reactive jumps. In this case, Ian's going to do some hurdle hops. So without necessarily knowing what to call it, you've probably seen a lot of reactive plyometrics, because every change of direction really, and most cutting and jumping and you know, and intense transitions in sport is a reactive plyometric. So it's nothing new to most athletes in that they already do it regularly in their sport. But the question is, how well do they do it? So we want to incorporate some sort of you know, drills or plyometrics or exercises into our program, whatever you want to call them, to build these qualities and improve these qualities. Obviously, you know, the fact that I made the 3 videos before, those give you a lot of different things that you can tie in that will improve your reactive jumps. And I'll just show you how that works. So obviously he's going to start the jump with a counter movement jump. That's, you know, you have to start somehow. So whether you do it from a stationary position or a counter movement, doesn't really matter. The most important thing in a reactive jump happens on impact with the ground. So what happens is he's already jumped up over this hurdle, and now he's accelerating toward the ground. So like in the first video, he's going to have to rapidly decelerate in order to re-accelerate away from the ground again. So that rate of force development, his landing mechanics, and his eccentric strength come into play massively here. What you'll notice with someone who's really weak or new to jumping is that the time on the ground, so their ground contact time, is going to be really, really slow. So you'd end up with this huge pause on the ground, and he'd probably let his hips collapse further toward the ground and get more range of motion on his ankle, hip, and knee, because he wouldn't have a choice, because he'd just be too weak. In which case it would take a while to build up momentum and strength to be able to accelerate away from the ground again. Because remember, when the more flexed our joints become, so if you think about a squat, if you squat all the way down to the floor, it's really hard to generate torque and power from such a stretched position. The closer we get to extension, so if you, in this video here, the closer we get to here, the faster, the more leverage he has on each joint, so the faster he's able to generate force. So if he could stay here, he'd actually have the fastest jump, right? But you know, coming from another jump already, he's got to be able to slow that down and stop it in order to jump away again. So when you put that together, he's got to rapidly decelerate, stop, and then re-accelerate again. The reason reactive jumps are so good training-wise is that not only are you shortening ground contact time by training that, but you're dealing with huge forces. You know, a normal counter movement jump, you don't really have to decelerate much before you get off the ground. But any kind of drop jump or major major reactive jump has a huge force that you have to decelerate first before you can again accelerate over your next jump. So, you know, cueing an athlete through reactive jumps, I tell him, besides telling him obviously to get height on his jumps, I'm going to tell him to try and minimize how much time he spends on the ground. That's going to give him the intention of creating stiffness, and that's going to allow him to shorten his contact times and get back up over the next hurdle quickly. So as long as you follow the order of the first couple videos and incorporate those into your program, so now that you have reactive jumps, you have counter movement jumps, you have jumps from a static position, you have landings, you can build a pretty diverse plyometric program. Whether you shift through those by cycle or phase, or if you incorporate them all in different ways into your phase, doesn't really matter as long as you use them all. Because building up that eccentric strength is going to help deceleration, it's going to help rate of force development, building up that forceful muscular contraction is a big part of that impulse coming off the ground. And then building up that counter movement jump just allows you to shorten that amortization phase and just transition quickly from that deceleration to the acceleration phase. So here it is again, reactive jumps, going over hurdle hops. This can be anything. This can be single leg, double leg. It can come from a high position, low position. Obviously the higher they drop off the first box, the more force it's going to be, so the harder it's going to be for them to do it again. So you may want to vary the heights that you fall from and how many jumps you put in the series, but definitely start incorporating these into your program. So thanks again, guys, for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed it, share it, subscribe. We really appreciate the support here at Razor's Edge Performance. Have a great night. See ya.